a time out to be able to do this for us, and we really appreciate it, because I think, as Danny said earlier, you have probably the most powerful voice in this room, in this meeting, in terms of your experience and your kind of well, just hearing what you've it's been like for you. So yeah, thank you for doing this. So does anybody want to start with a question?
I lost you there for a second.
Or do you just want to kind of start with your journey, really, in that sense? What do you think?
Keep some freezing, Elizabeth. Whatever you like. If you want a question, and otherwise I can.
I was just saying about if you wanted to start with your journey, maybe,
Okay.
like how you kind of, where did it all start, and what support and what it's been like for you, really.
So maybe if I go a little bit back, just kind of. So I did suffer for a slight. I was diagnosed with a slight anxiety back in the day, but I kind of managed it quite well. And I had a really, really, really positive, really, really good pregnancy. My hospital experience was really bad because I had to be induced. So I was in hospital for like 3 full days before I actually gave birth. And I think they had a lot of issues with some kids with a lot of problems, some newborns and people that were born early. And anyway, the hospital was really busy. Anyway, it kind of all started there.
Sure.
And then John, our little one, was born with a little bit of fever. So we had to stay in the hospital for another 3 days. So they put me in a room with kids with problems, and I think I'm going to say mums with problems too. Because the only thing I could hear was other people crying, things like that. So I think the environment wasn't the best. I don't know whether that triggered everything else, or whether then the kind of postnatal depression just was going to happen anyway, or whether it was a consequence of all of that together. So I went home on a Friday, and on a Sunday, well, I couldn't sleep. I had a lot of problems with the sleeping. So that was my main thing. And I was really tired. And I thought it was more tiredness because of lack of sleep than anything else that was happening to me. I wasn't very sure what it was. But on Sunday, I had a panic attack, and I asked my husband to take me to hospital. So kind of my second time in hospital was when they really looked after me, or I feel that they really looked after me. So basically, I had a psychiatrist assessing me. I had 2 actually. And I was so convinced that I was just tired because I couldn't sleep, that was my problem. So they gave me something to sleep in hospital. So I did sleep quite a bit in hospital. And then I was released. Just, you're fine, go back home. But by that time, I think they had contacted you guys or the team to kind of looked after me a little bit. And then I had my first appointment with Dr. Pujol. And then is when we realized actually that probably there was something else going on there. Yes, so I think my main issue, like having looked back, was that I felt really, really insecure. I think I'm a little bit of a control freak. That has negative connotations, but I try to think about it a little bit in a positive way, perhaps, because I like to know what I'm doing. I like to do my job really well. And it's really hard to do a good job with a baby, or what you think is a good job, and you want 100% of, exactly what's happening, when, how, when. It's impossible with a baby, and you can't plan and all of that. So I think that really threw me. And I felt really, really insecure. So I didn't want to stay with a baby on my own. And that was the biggest kind of issue. Because I felt that if something happened, what was I going to do? And I didn't have anyone to help me out and all of these things. So I didn't want my husband to go to work, all that kind of stuff. So Dr. Pujol suggested that to have my mum around. So my mum was with me at the beginning, but she stayed much longer just to have that kind of support. And kind of we moved on from then. Then I had Helen, so it was really nice having a weekly meeting with someone, just kind of reflecting on the week, just kind of setting goals, knowing also that I could text her. I thought that was really, that I barely did, and I think I only tested VAB once. But it was really nice to know that they were there and they were like a text away. And that made me feel a bit more, secure and looked after in a way. So I think that was, that was really good thing that came from the team, or really good thing that I could do. And then, well, I was having dark thoughts at some point, so I was looked after by another team for a little while. I don't know who they were. Maybe Helen might know. I don't know. And they came and checked on me every day and made sure that I was fine. And then after a week, they decided I wasn't really suicidal. So
That was probably the home
of,
treatment team. I think it was the home treatment team. Yeah.
I think then they were like, no, I think you're right. So fine. So they disappeared. And then VAP came in, which was really nice, because even though I could talk to Helen about a lot of stuff, VAP had a lot of practical things to tell me about. And also I will tell him, oh, this is what I'm doing with John. And then she'll tell me, oh, yes, that sounds good. You're doing a good job. And I think I needed that kind of reassurance. I really needed somebody to tell me that I was doing a good job. And that kind of John was progressing well and according to plan, and had somebody to kind of review my week and review everything once a week was really, really nice for me. And I think I just kept on going with Helen and VAB for quite a long time, and that really helped. Obviously I took medication as well, and I think that also helps a lot, because I could rest, so therefore I felt better physically, even though mentally I wasn't that well, but physically I was kind of rested. And I don't know how strong the medication, I think I wasn't in the strongest medication, and I took a pill in the morning, and then I took sertraline in the morning, and then I took something else in the evening to help me relax, to go to sleep. And that was, I think it depends what kind of postnatal depression, or what kind of postnatal depression you might have. Some things might work, or some things might not work. In my case, I think you got it really quickly, really right. So then I had like two people that were fully supporting me, one from the kind of mental health, nursing, kind of thoughts, how, to manage my thoughts, and try to get more positive thoughts, and praise myself when things were going well and stuff like that, and kind of reflect on the good things, not only on the bad things. And then I have Vab, who actually helped me with kind of the practical stuff about the baby. So I felt that it was great to have the system, and I didn't know that was available. I didn't know that I could have all of that, and I feel absolutely 100% really well looked after. And it took, by Easter time, so John was born on the 4th of September. By kind of Easter time, I kind of started feeling much better. And then lockdown came, so another challenge. Because I had a lot of plans with my mum to go on holiday, to go to Spain, to spend time with family, and obviously all of that didn't happen. So that was a disappointment. So actually, again, kind of being that I've learned to be quite adaptable throughout this whole process, and like time to, if a plan didn't work, okay, it didn't work, that's fine, let's move on. Can I plan? Yes, no, because it's COVID, so I can't plan. So right, so one day at a time, or 2 days at a time, and kind of learning that was a good learning process for me, for the kind of person I was, that I can't control everything, and sometimes you have outside factors that make it uncontrollable. And I think by the time I got to the summer, I was much better, and yeah, I stopped my medication about the end of September. Yeah, and that was kind of me. And then, well, then I was pregnant again, and then we had an unhealthy baby, so we had to have an abortion. So that again around Christmas time is really hard. Again, so Helen looked after me a little bit longer because I was going to go back to her because I was pregnant again. But then I wasn't. So obviously the service I couldn't use the service, but then Helen very kindly, I think with the support from Aki and from Dr. Pujola and the team, still looked after me for a little bit longer. And that was really nice as well to, in January to have conversations with her and being able to kind of let it out, everything I was feeling and all of that. And then, we thought I was probably ready to fly solo. And that was really scary because having so much support, you do rely on it in a way. So I was like, yes, I want to be on my own, but I don't want to be on my own. But actually it worked better than I thought. And things got a bit better. And I do feel like, I'm going to say maybe the wrong word, I'm in control now. Don't know what that means, but I do feel kind of in control. I kind of know what I'm doing with the baby, more or less. Coming back to work and having a bit of my life back has also helped. Even though I think once you have a baby, you never have your life back, in a way, in a strange way, as well. I'm doing quite well. I'm quite happy that I haven't had any bad days or nights when I couldn't sleep. It's kind of a little bit all in the past in a way, which is good. But sometimes I do think about some of the stuff I learned. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Some of the stuff, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, oh, Helen used to tell me that I need to do this. So kind of put it into practice. So that's.
Are you okay?
Me. I just don't want to cry.
We don't want you to get upset, but
No. It's kind of more. Sorry, it's kind of more happy tears than it's sad tears, if I'm honest. But it's a lot of good memories and bad memories, because obviously that's the only thing that I feel is slightly negative. That when I think back when my baby was small, most of my memories are really negative and really bad. And it's a pity, I think, because but now they're fine. They're good memories now, and I still have some good memories, but not as many maybe as people might have when their babies are babies, because I wasn't in the right place. So obviously I link some of the things with feelings as well that I used to have. So not great, but right.
I just wanted to ask.
Gonna blow my nose.
Is it a good time to ask a question, Usa? And when you think about those early days when you weren't in a good place and things, and obviously it makes you upset about that now. Is there anything you think, looking back, or even for now, that would help you to kind of come to terms with those, or is it just something you feel that I suppose I'm just trying to understand if there's something you think would help you process them so it doesn't feel so painful, or is that something with time?
I think maybe with time, isn't it? Time is a healer, they say. And then I suppose I look back at the whole time, and I don't think it was as bad, but it was really bad. But now looking back, you're like, okay, I managed and I did it and I went through it, and I kind of I don't see that it was so bad, but it's more sometimes when I see the videos or I see some of the stuff that it does make me feel a bit sad, because I didn't enjoy it as much as maybe I should have. Or I could have, I don't know. One or the other. But I think, yeah, probably time is a healer, but I am a crier as well. So I normally cry with a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's me. But I cry a lot. So the crying is not, it's fine. It's what I do sometimes.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't tell me, oh, stop crying anymore. It's like, cry, let it out. And he knows I feel better after it. So yeah, but it was really nice, because what I found with some people I know, I mean, it's different cases, scenarios as well, and cases, because different people, but some people that have suffered from depression, their partners or husband didn't really understand, and they didn't really support them. And my husband was great.
That's good. It's important.
I'm a wreck now. Yeah, my husband was he is still really great. And it's really nice that I can just tell him I'm just having a bad day. Or, things like that. I still find mornings tiny bit harder than the rest of the day. But yeah, I know it's gonna get better throughout the day. So it's not as upsetting as it used to be. I think it used to be quite like, oh my God, it's gonna be a horrible day, because I feel horrible first thing in the morning. But yeah, I know, like the first half an hour might take me a while to wake up and get on with the day and all of that. But yeah.
Thank
But then
you.
it gets better. I think when you have positive experiences and you can think about them, then that helps with the negativity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I suppose you find ways yourself to kind of think about how you kind of turn those negativity or those kind of thoughts that are hard in the morning into something that will help you get through the day. Yeah.
Because I know it will get better, so I don't really think about it. I just get on with whatever I'm doing, and after a while I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready for the day. That's it. Off we go.
Great. Shall we open up for questions? Does anybody want to ask anything? Does anybody have any reflections on what they've kind of heard and Yusi's story? It's been really powerful, and actually understanding what it's been like for you, because we are on the other side, and actually you probably give us an insight into what it's like for you even more by listening to your story.
I mean, go, please.
I was just thinking, you say that it's a real credit to you as well, and you were saying about how you're a crier, and I think that's really important to process, to be able to cry and to be able to let it out. And I think a lot of the time, if it's contained and kept in, it doesn't heal really. So keep on crying.
I think you do feel really embarrassed.
Processing.
I know you do feel really embarrassed, and you do feel like, oh my God, I'm such a, all the time crying about things. But actually, I feel better after I cried. Otherwise, you hold it inside, and then it gets worse, isn't it?
Release certain chemicals, apparently, don't they? That kind of heal
by crying.
Oh my Lord! I saw the news and I was just a wreck because it was so sad. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Kelly's just written on the side, thank you for being so honest about your experience. And she's asked, could you pinpoint what helped you on your journey through recovering? And it may be not just one or two, it actually might be a number of things. But is there anything in particular that you would say was really, really helpful?
Just knowing how to ask for help, and the fact that the help was just there, so readily available. I think that made me feel, that really helped. Like being able to text. It's not that you have an appointment every week. It's just that there is something else there as well that you could, that you could tend to. And I think that's something that Helen repeated a lot. And she was like, if you need me, just text me. And I was like, do you think I'm going to need you? At the beginning, I was like, do you think I can't do it? And I'm going to need you. And she was like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know what you need to do. I was like, yes. And even now I know that I know who I can reach, how I can do it. You know, if I'm, what kind of signs I need to look for, who can I turn to. So I think it's just knowing that they're there and they, you know, will answer you quickly, and, you know, that you have someone there all the time with you, even if they're not with you the whole time, but it kind of, they are. I think that was the best thing. Obviously, the combination of having weekly meetings with, because I had Helen and I had Bab every week, so I had 2 people at a weekly meetings as well. But I also had the medication, because at the beginning I was like, no, I don't want to take anything. I just didn't want to take the medication, but, you know, I couldn't kind of help it. I just needed it. So just perhaps the combination of everything. One of the things that I thought was really powerful as well, or something that stuck to my head a lot, was I did see a psychiatrist when I went to Spain at Christmas. My first Christmas, so after John was born. John was 4 months. And he said, you know, postnatal depression it really goes away. You know, after a year, you'll be fine. And just kind of hanging on to that feeling of it does go away. And, you know, you just need to keep at it. Really, really helped as well. Just kind of knowing that there is an end to it, if that makes sense. So like knowing that this is not, I mean, I'm always going to be slightly vulnerable. So if I am pregnant again, or if, you know, I know I will be more vulnerable because I've gone through it already, and because I did have anxiety before that. But yeah, I think knowing that it would go away, and it has gone away. I hope. Yes, I feel, yes, it has gone away.
Yeah.
More certain.
Just some more kind of comments in the chat box was from Rachel saying, thank you for sharing with us. Danny, I think because Danny had to leave, he said also thank you for sharing with us. Yeah. And then Bav's got some training, I think. So she said thank you and sorry that she has to go off, but it was lovely to see you again. And then Natalie as well. Thanks for sharing your story, and she was happy to see how you have progressed, and it showed in your happy tears as such. So that was really nice.
I try not to cry in these situations, but I always do. I don't know why. I think it's just, looking back sometimes. That's made me quite, it makes me feel quite emotional, but I am quite proud of myself actually as well. So
yeah, definitely.
I try to pat my back sometimes.
Good. I think you have to. There's a lot of that kind of doing that for yourself really too as well, reminding how far you've come on your journey really, and where you are, and how, you know, amazing you've done. Martin's got a question. He said, sorry he missed the beginning of the meeting, but could he ask what has made things better for you when the problem, what would have made things better for you when the problem first emerged? Martin, do you want to ask it maybe?
I'm trying to think. I feel when I was in hospital the first time, it would have been nice to have somebody check on us. I think I mentioned this, I don't know whether I mentioned it to Dr. Pujol back in the day. So, you know, I was in a room with 4 ladies that I never saw as well. So I think when you don't see people, that's worse. But I could hear one of them particularly crying a lot of the time. Obviously, I feel she needed help. So having a psychologist, psychiatrist, someone, maybe when you have to be in hospital for a while, just having a check and see how you're doing, that will have helped. Maybe we would have identified my problem a bit quicker.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about maternity wards, and a lot of them are bays, aren't there, where you're sharing with several women who are going through all different experiences, good and bad, and actually how much that affects people around them.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought everyone around me was having the worst experience ever.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And I remember night one, I think it was, I said to my husband, let's walk around the hospital. I just can't be in this room. Because it was just, we couldn't even sleep.
Yeah.
It was just terrible in terms of like people with having contractions, people, crying with a lot of pain. Also, I realized that I had really amazing threshold for pain. Which I didn't know I had. So I was fully dilated and nobody realized as well. So nobody realized because I could control it and I wasn't shouting as loud as other people, perhaps.
Gosh. Wow.
And I actually walked to my, to the delivery room, and I think the nurse, the midwife there was shocked, was like, can you talk to me? And are you okay? Can you walk? And I was like, well, yeah, in between contractions, obviously, but yes, I can, and I can do all of that. And I didn't know that I didn't know, obviously, but she was really shocked as well. So I think I was left a little bit to my own devices, and because I wasn't shouting the loudest, I was just forgotten. And they only came to check me because I was the last one in my room, because everyone had delivered their babies, and then they just came and said, oh, you're still here, oh, let's check you. And then she looked at me and went, oh, you are fully dilated, are you all right? And I was like, well, yeah, I've been telling you for I did ask you like 4 hours ago. I told you I had enough contractions per minute, whatever they were. Anyway, so I do think perhaps more presence in hospital might be, I don't know whether that's doable, but and also the 2 psychiatrists that they assessed me the second time in hospital didn't really pick up on postnatal depression.
And I wonder whether. Oops, sorry. I was just going to say.
Just because they asked me a lot of questions about hating my baby and all of that, and I didn't feel that.
And I was just thinking about when you said you weren't shouting the loudest, and whether you had shouted the loudest, which way things would have gone, maybe
differently. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I thought when I was pregnant for the second time, I did think in my head, I was like, I'm going to be the most outrageous person in that world, and I'm just going to demand attention, and I'm just going to, go to the stand and go, I want you to check me. And I thought to myself, I'm going to do all those things.
Yeah. There's another question from Natalie. She's asked, besides your husband, did you have any other family support?
Yeah, so my mum, my mum stayed with me a lot. So they were meant to be with us for 2 months to help out. And then my mum stayed. She did go back to Spain for a little bit, but she stayed with me they came in August. So she was with me till the end of January. So I said, oh, hello, Helen.
I knew that was going to happen.
Sorry, I had just got back from my vaccine, but I wanted to say hello. So nice to see you.
So for those who don't know who Helen is, Helen worked very closely with Lucy and was her nurse, perinatal nurse. And I'm so glad you're here, Helen, because it's been lovely for Lucy to see you.
So good to see you.
I'm
so glad I can.
This is bad now.
I'm glad I managed to catch the end just to see you. So
how are you, Helen? How are you?
I'm very good. How have you been doing?
Yeah, really well. I was saying that, I don't know whether this is the right word or whether you're going to think this is the right word, but I do feel in control at the moment, which is very good, isn't it?
Very pleased to hear that.
It's a massive step.
It is. It's a huge step.
I am exhausted, but I think I'm exhausted from life in general. I think life is exhausting. So, yes, but yeah. Let me, I don't know whether I can do this. Sorry, I'm just going to go. Probably this is not the right thing to do, but I can't help myself. Am I sharing my screen? Can you see?
Not yet.
Okay,
Oh,
and
something.
you see yourselves.
Yes.
Oh, this
my gosh. A little
Wow.
cutie.
He is beautiful.
Oh.
He is amazing at the moment, and he's talking so much, and he's just. We were saying about that, Helen, weren't we? That once he started just let me stop sharing. I don't know how to do this now.
It's just the arrow in the corner.
Just the arrow in the corner.
On Teams.
Yes,
You see the arrow pointing upwards? No.
No, hold on. Yes. But it doesn't let me stop. Don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. I should know. I've been teaching through Teams for a while. But
You're
I
on
normally.
the spot. That's why probably.
Well, it tells me stop sharing, and I go stop sharing.
Just while you're doing that, you say, can I just say, Rachel had said something about your experience with the doctors in the hospital and the medical team not always listening to the mother from the start, and she wanted to thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I did think. Sorry, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to stop this.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry.
I don't know why. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why. Shoot. All right, I'll keep on trying while I talk. Yes, I wanted to, and it's something that I haven't done, and I don't know whether I should do at some point. Still, it's nagging me a little bit that I maybe to do a review to Kingston Hospital and talk about how awful my experience was. I don't know whether that's. I'm not. Yeah, I didn't know what to do at the beginning. But I think they need to realize that the impact, and I said at the beginning, I don't know whether that started it, but in my head that kind of triggered everything. Yes. So now I've managed now. Yes. So I think in my head the whole hospital negative experience really triggered everything, and and when I went back to hospital second time with my panic attack and all of that, actually I felt so well looked after. I had a great nurse who told me how to breastfeed my child properly. I had the breastfeeding expert telling me I shouldn't breastfeed and I should just give my child a bottle because I needed to look after myself first, and then my baby would be happy because I would be happy. Then I have obviously the psychiatrists, and then they send me to you guys. So actually they did the job, but the second time around. And that's what I was saying before, that maybe having a bit more of a presence of psychologists or mental health specialists or anything that in the wards, after the mothers have given birth and they might have to stay in hospital for a bit longer, and just checking them, just having a little conversation. I think, with 3 or 4 kind of 5 key questions, you probably do know how they're doing. Yeah. And being able to then maybe, kind of, as I said, start the system a bit earlier on, that would have been, I think, for me, much more helpful, because I will have gotten the help I needed a bit quicker as well.
Yeah. Was it more the maternity staff, do you think, that needed perhaps to be able to ask you those questions?
I think they were overflown, as I said as well. I think they had a lot of birth with problems and children with problems, and they have a lot of premature children. I think it was just Kingston Hospital was slightly overwhelmed, and I think obviously, if you have 4 people and one of them shouts really loud, who are you gonna help? The loudest or the quietest?
Rachel's also added that she can completely.
Particularly.
Sorry, we froze. I think there was a bit of a delay there. Were you saying something? You say?
No, I was listening. Somebody said, what did Rachel say? You started and then.
So Rachel has written, I can completely resonate with this experience in hospital, and that poor care stays with you forever. That was her. And Martin had written, if you can face doing it, the feedback would be very valuable.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but I think I would like to do it.
Yeah.
I think now that it's gone, you know, now that it's over a year, well, 20 months, John is today. So after 20 months, I feel like I probably go back and definitely, but I wouldn't know how to do it. But yes, if you find out how to do it, I would love to. I would love to do it because I think they need to hear it.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Definitely.
We'll find out.
Okay. Because yeah, I think because it's got such good reputation, Kingston. That's why I chose it over Westmead, because he had a better reputation as well. And then yeah. But also I had issues with releasing from hospital. So one of them, the care worker was okay to release me, but the midwife wasn't, and she was quite mean. So also going home, I felt so guilty. I went home and I said to my husband, maybe I should have stayed in hospital a bit longer. I think, well, also mentally I wasn't well, obviously. So anything that people tell you kind of stays with you. But yeah. And there were, I can't remember any names, but there was a black lady who was amazing. She was the best one. And we had her for 2 days. She was there two times, and she was absolutely brilliant. And then the girl, a bit younger than me, I think she was, midwife that looked after me my second time in hospital, was absolutely brilliant too. But I can't remember any of the names.
Yeah.
Just to kind of say they were amazing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all bad. It was just that maybe the system, as I'm saying, I think they were slightly overflown with everything, and there wasn't maybe enough staff.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, as we're coming towards the end, really, does anyone else have any other questions for Yusu? Did I say it right? Did I say your name?
Yeah, perfect.
I'm always aware I might say it wrong.
So don't worry. Absolutely perfect.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for sharing. I missed the beginning as well, but it was really powerful, moving to hear your story and your journey through the different services. And also really, in some ways, kind of refreshing to hear you talk about, you know, even though those there were lots of painful experiences, that you're kind of learning to sit with those alongside, like sitting with that pain alongside the happy memories as well, kind of having space for both of those, you know, all those different feelings that we have, and even hearing that you have space to cry and you're kind of embracing that, you know, it's really refreshing. So thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you for listening. Oh.
I think I probably speak for everybody in the room that we really appreciate you sharing your story, and how powerful and probably how moving it is for many of us here to hear that as well. And there's another comment just come through quickly. Daisy has written, oh, where's it gone? Sorry. Just to echo others and thank you for sharing. And she felt privileged to be able to listen to the story, your story as well. So that's amazing.
I think being open about it as well with kind of my inner group of friends and not be ashamed of it, really, that did help as well. Like I knew I had a few people that I could always talk to or say, oh, I'm having a really bad day today. Or and my 2 really great friends from the antenatal group, they were really, really amazing as well. So it was nice to have. I feel I had a lot of people to turn to. And I think that's probably key, because you feel really lonely there. So it's nice to be able to have a lot of really great people and really great friends around to help you out. And my mummy, of course.
Jill's just posted the powers.
Sorry, I'm still on the emotional.
Jill's just posted the PALS email, which you can give your feedback via if you wanted to, as an option.
Once we finish this conversation, I should be able to access the chat, can I? Because I don't have anything.
I think so.
I do have something to write on. Otherwise, right, let me write this down quickly.
Yes, that's the address that Kingston Hospital give for all compliments, complaints, any feedback.
There's a comment from Daisy saying, you have nothing to feel ashamed of, and being ill is not a choice. And you have worked so hard to get where you are now, and it's beautiful to see.
But I think you do feel that everyone around you have it together, and they're really good, and everyone is doing such a great job, and you're doing such a shitty job. Sorry, you shouldn't have said that, but you're doing such a poo job. It's not. It's when you talk it through with people. People do tell you their experiences, and people do tell you that they have a rough night, or that they have a rough something, or or something that happened to them as well. And then you don't feel so lonely. You don't feel it's only you.
Yeah,
that's why lockdown's been so hard. I think that mums aren't able to share their troubles and just sort of chat with each other and say, oh, I feel really shit today. Yeah.
And I think because it was interesting that I did feel really bad mentally, but my friends were having sleepless nights, and I was sleeping because job was really good actually, so I was sleeping quite a lot. Some people had issues with feeding. John fed really well, so it was nice to hear other people's complaints in a way, because it made you feel that you weren't lonely and it wasn't just you. So I think for the new mums now, it's probably because they haven't managed to do any courses either. Where they met all the mummies, they probably do feel very lonely actually. I'm very bored. I'm sorry to say, but having a child at the beginning is really boring.
Yeah, and days are long, the nights are even longer, and it's very difficult. Just some more comments here. So Daisy had added that it was absolutely that sharing is very important, and Rachel is that we have to be more open with each other about motherhood and the transition to becoming a mother as well. But so is there any kind of more final questions before we finish? Just again to say thank you. It's been incredible, very, very useful and very valuable to us.
Well, I hope it has.
Yeah,
but I'm here if you ever need me for anything, and
yes,
I'm around. I'm very happy to help because oh God, why am I getting every 2 words? Now I've gone into this emotional wreck, and now I'm not getting out of it.
Well, I don't want to leave
you. Massive thank you, to the system, because it has really worked for me and to the team.
You say Helen's looking very proud.
Yeah.
It's just lovely to be able to come back a few months down the line and hear that things are are going well, and it was a privilege working
with
Helen
was amazing. You really got me, Helen.
I'm glad that I could be there to support. It was a pleasure working with you.
Really got me, and that's really important. We did a good match. We were a good match.
You did so well. You were all the goals that we set working together. You worked so well, and it's lovely to hear that things are going well. And it's really nice to see that picture of John as well and see how much he's changed.
Oh my God, I know. They grow up. It's not that boring anymore. It's quite exciting. But we did talk about that, that I knew that when he started talking and being more active, and and I will enjoy more, and I do enjoy more now, which is good.
It's lovely.
Great. Maybe Helen and you, so you can pick up the phone and carry on the chat if you want to.
Well, I need to go on
You've got to go back to GCSEs.
Go back to my GCSEs and get myself sorted. Go to the loo, maybe.
I'll drop you an email again maybe later. There's another session going on now at 3, so
Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
everyone take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Take
Thanks
care.
for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.